Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. My name is Matt Leschber with 1836 Property Management. This video is to go over the Q4 2024 Resident Satisfaction Survey results. We want you guys to know we do read these, we go through them, we do our best to improve where we can. It is fascinating almost every time we pull these up that there's a significant number of people that write in to complain about how bad the communication is. And then there's a significant number of people that write in to compliment how great the communication is. And it's not consistent with the team. It's not consistent with an employee. It really is over the entire company. And so the belief in what communication should be and how it should be handled is something that we're kind of taking on not only with these videos, but also with different systems that we're testing. We really want to move to a ticketing system in 2025, but that's proven a little bit more challenging than just picking up something off the shelf. And so we're working towards that so everyone can feel like their communication is addressed. I also want to let you know that just on that topic, we do have staff that are staffed during business hours to do nothing but answer the phone. So most companies you go to, they're going to have this massive phone tree during business hours. You have to find the right person and probably leave a message because people are busy, right? Nobody's just sitting at their desk at work. But we actually have someone staffed to do nothing but customer service. And so you may be reaching them when they're already busy or something of that nature, but there is someone actually staffed just for that. So let's leave some of the communication positives and negatives besides because they're addressed in almost every video that we do and they're always offsetting with each other. And let's go to some of the things that may be helpful for our residents. So one of the comments is leaf removal from gutter and tree trimming on our property would be nice. We can't agree with you much more than we already do. So tree trimming is legally or contractually the obligation of the resident. However, we don't want residents up on ladders and we don't want residents trimming trees inappropriately or at the wrong time of the year. So if you will write in, just put a maintenance request in and just say, hey, I think the trees need to be trimmed. Can you send somebody out? Absolutely happy to do that. Now, when it comes to the gutters, we have to draw the line somewhere. And so cleaning those gutters, just like at my personal residence, is going to fall on the resident because you're going to have to do some maintenance in a property if you want to live in a house versus an apartment. And that's just kind of part of that contractual deal. Again, the trees could be, but we take care of that anyway, or we at least recommend to the owners that they do that. So the next one is hire a company that actually inspects the operation of mechanicals in the home prior to move-in. All that was done was a walk around and a visual look. Nothing was tested. The difference between what we do as a property management company and what an inspector would do on a home is pretty vast, to be honest with you. We have to use different language. We have about 3 hours that we'll spend in the house documenting the condition of it. And there's still no possible way that we can touch and do everything in the home. An inspector may spend 4 to 6 to 7 hours on a home. We end up billing or invoicing that owner maybe $150 at the most for our time because they're not under that umbrella of what a license would require for an inspector. An inspector is going to charge $500, $600, $700 to check every system on the home. So while we would love to actually have the resources or the capital or the support of the owner to go through and just, I mean, to be honest with you, we'd really just hire an inspector and be done because then we don't have to be liable for it, do it, manage it, anything else. There's just not enough revenue coming in from the owner, from your rent. There's not enough margin in order to be able to deliver that service. And so we kind of do the best we can. We do walk through and people are actually touching every faucet and everything, but they may not be testing every single outlet. We're hoping that something gets reported, we can get it fixed. And we, of course, are testing what we have to use during the make-ready process. But the home is just too vast and it's too expensive to have everything tested unless rent went up proportionate to that, which would be about another $75 a year, or excuse me, a month. Over the course of a year. So there is a cost factor to that. It's not that we don't wish to. Another one is you're required to accept cash payments and the option to pay through our bank account must be added back to the resident portal. So I'm going to stop there for a second. So first, we're not required to accept cash payments. Whatever the lease has is what we can do. But it also has a caveat in there that if you are late paying your rent or you don't pay your rent, we don't have to accept certain payments. Now, cash is something no one takes anymore. I can't even go to a restaurant and pay with cash. So we certainly in the office don't carry cash either or store that. And we don't have to add things back. You are being restricted because your rent was late, you didn't pay rent on time, and because we don't want delays with that. So the last part of this section was, our comment from the resident was, take away the fee for having to pay from a credit card. You're taking advantage of the residents. So the credit card company charges a fee of a percentage. It could be up to 3%. So if If we don't charge you for that fee, who pays that fee? Well, we're the manager, we're not the owner, and we manage on behalf of the, so the owner's not going to pay that fee. So we don't have to accept credit cards at all. We do that as a service, so that if you need to buy a little time, you can do that. But there is a fee associated with that because that's what the credit card company charges. And that's also outlined in your lease as well. So if you have any questions, feel free to talk to your PM, but all this is outlined in your lease. After moving from in-house management in apartment complexes, your property management organization has been surprisingly pleasant and simple to use. We do our best. Again, if you ever have questions, just please reach out to us, set an appointment. Don't send an email, wait a week, and then say you never responded. So if you pick up the phone, call, do whatever you need to do. Our response time that we hold ourselves to is 1 business day. So if we're out of the office on the weekend, you're not going to get a response as well because we do work normal office hours. Lastly, we've got one that says every year the AC goes out. Why isn't it fix and never go out? It just seems like a Band-Aid is slapped on with no actual solutions to not have the problem again. I don't disagree with you. ACs tend to act on their own timeline as to when they are no longer reparable. If the capacitor is going out, that system is slowly going out. But if it's going out once a year, the owner's not going to spend $15,000 to replace that system if a $350 or $500 repair gets them another year of life. Think about that. $500 goes out, we repair it next year, $500. But if you took 15,000 divided by 10, which was the expected life expectancy of an AC unit, that's 1,500 a year. And so it's just a cost benefit to it. Nobody wants your AC to go out. I agree with you. If that thing's 20 years old, it's going to go out anyway, but it's up to the individual owner to decide when they are ready to replace that, because they're not going to want to do it sooner if they can prolong the life of that and get more use out of it. It's unfortunate, but we don't control the maintenance on everything here. We have limitations, and keep in mind, every property in which you live is actually owned by individual owners. And a lot of these are mom and pops. They have 1 to 3 units. Maybe this was mom's house. Maybe this is their first investment. And so they're not sitting around with piles of cash going, sure, fix anything, do what you want. They're people just like you with a rental property and hoping to save for retirement. Thanks again for your time. We hope you got something out of this. As always, reach out to your property manager, set an appointment, get a time to connect if you have any questions. We're going to be here for you, whether it's today or tomorrow. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.